What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Franchise Play. Gotta tell you about this new app called RotoQL. RotoQL works for users for DraftKings as well as FanDuel, and it does two things primarily. It saves time when you're picking lineups. The second thing that it does is obviously what? It helps you win more. RotoQL is designed to give you the same types of tools that the pros, that the hardcore daily fantasy sports players use to get success. You can get in on RotoQL with a three-day free trial by going to the link right here at the bottom of the screen. RotoQL.com/YouTube. Also, take a look in the description. You need to just click on it as well as some additional information. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. What's up, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Franchise Play, and I'm coming to you with a boatload of information about WWE 2K18. Myself and a group of journalists and YouTubers went out to Nevada, California, to 2K headquarters for what was called a community summit. A development summit. And basically it was a group of people who write about the WWE, write about video games, love WWE 2K or love WWE video games, and had basically a lot of strong feedback. I've written a wish list for WWE 2 games probably for each of the last 3 or 4 years, and thankfully, a lot of those wish lists have been read or seen via YouTube. Some people have read my wish list on Forbes or on Bleacher Report. I currently write for Forbes. So I wrote this breakdown that I'm going to go over with you guys, and I wrote it up for Forbes, and it published early this morning. But as usual, as I've been doing recently, I like to cover some of those concepts via YouTube as well, because I realize people get their news in different ways. Some people prefer to read their news. Some people prefer to watch a video if it's available. So I like to kind of cover all of the different ends, right? So let's go ahead and let's talk about what we know about WWE 2K18. And I'm going to tell you, try to keep up with me, man, because this is the day that WWE 2K fans have been waiting for a while. We've been waiting for concrete information. And I got something for you. So let's start with MyCareer. We learned about that tagline, be like no one. We saw the trailer with Seth Rollins, and so much of this year's game is going to be based on the MyCareer experience. Now, that's not to mean that there won't be other modes, but it's clear that the development team has put a lot of time, effort, and resources into improving MyCareer. The new progression and upgrade system that's going to be in this year's game, or in this year's MyCareer mode. We didn't find out specifics, but the objective was to make upgrading your character more interesting. We'll likely learn more about this in the coming months. Now, there will also be a new specification of fighting styles for your created superstar. We weren't told the names of these styles, but I do believe I heard a mention about a high flyer, super heavyweight, and a martial arts style. Now, there may be more, but it's an idea that appears to be loosely based on NBA 2K's archetypes. This might even be moving WWE 2K towards an esports concept, but I got a little bit more on that later. MyCareer is also going to feature free roaming in backstage areas. The amount of available locations will be expanded over the previous WWE 2K game, but what you're able to do in these areas within MyCareer is still a mystery for right now. In any case, free roam is a term that WWE 2K fans have been dying to hear for a while. At least I know I have been. We didn't get an opportunity to test gameplay, so I can't say how this new wrinkle is going to add to the fun factor, but I'm excited about the possibilities. There will also be a new story for this year's MyCareer journey. In WWE 2K17, I'm going to be honest, I checked out after around 20 to 30 matches. Things were pretty repetitive and I grew tired of those lifeless promos. Now, thankfully, there's an upgrade coming to that aspect of the game as well. It's called Promo Engine 2.0. This new feature wasn't discussed in detail with us, but it was announced. Hopefully we'll be able to hear the superstar's voice. It would be great if we could actually record a few lines. We may not be there yet from a tech standpoint. Now, last but not least, as far as the MyCareer scene goes, there's a new MyCareer online mode called Road to Glory. Yeah, I know that's EA Sports' old single-player college football mode on NCAA football, but it's going to be the name of a new mode in MyCareer. Things were especially hush-hush about that feature, but the executive producer Mark Little, he seemed really fond of it. The development team seems to have high hopes for Road to Glory, and I believe that that's the mode that might open up those doors for the esports competitions. Fans could potentially use their created wrestlers against other fans with real leaderboards and other measurables. Now, that what I just said is pure speculation on my part. So nobody told me that. Nobody from 2K said that you're going to have leaderboards, and I'm just speculating based off of the introduction of the mode and the current climate of sports gaming. Right now, everybody's moving something towards esports, and they're trying to craft a niche or build some sort of foundation so they can go to esports. So that would not shock me if that was the case. So that's pretty much what I got on MyCareer. But now let's talk about Creation Suite. The Creation Suite, in my opinion, was the strongest aspect of WWE 2K18, but that doesn't mean that it was perfect. Apparently, the dev team knows that, and they've added layers to this already strong feature. There will be a new create a match option that serves as a better idea of the match editor. There will also be more options available for create a superstar, create a video, and create an arena. I wish we had more, or I wish we had create a finisher back, but that didn't happen. I asked that question, but we're not getting that. Gamers will finally be able to save and edit highlights though with a free roaming camera and filters. YouTubers everywhere should be rejoicing, because any content creator who has ever used WWE 2K will probably have a ball making entrance videos with the new tools. To put the icing on the creations cake, there will be a new and improved community creations search system. Hopefully we've seen the last of that annoying hashtag search system. That was ridiculous. Let's talk about graphics and presentation. This dev team has made it a point to try and make the recent WWE 2K games the most realistic wrestling titles. This one apparently won't be an exception. We were told that this will be quote unquote the most realistic WWE game ever. Now, how they're going to accomplish that feat, I don't know. But this year's game is going to feature a new graphics engine with deferred rendering. There's also new lighting and camera effects. We saw one video of WWE 2K18 footage, and it showed the difference in Randy Orton's entrance from WWE 2K17 and then in the upcoming game. I saw a little bit of an improvement, but if I'm being totally honest, it wasn't really all that drastic. Now that said, it was like a split screen effect, and it was on a projector, and the projector I don't think was like HD or anything. So it's possible I need to see the entire screen to grasp the full effect. In any case, it still looks solid. The commentary though has been catastrophic in WWE 2K games. I'm talking about terrible. But we will promise that this year's game is going to offer better audio. There's a partially new team that are going to be handling the duties. Michael Cole returns, but he's going to be joined by Byron Saxton and Corey Graves. According to Little, the dev team received a firmer time commitment from the voice talent, and they were basically able to record higher quality lines with more of an organic feel. Now, my fingers are crossed about that aspect of the presentation, because I know how crazy of a schedule WWE employees work. Getting those guys and girls in to record or do anything like that is crazy. So I don't know how good that's going to come out. So we'll also see some new arenas and chants. We heard that. And if you're wondering about the ring announcer, JoJo was confirmed for that role. There was some talk about this year's soundtrack, but we should expect some more information about maybe the curator or the track list in the near future. Let's talk about roster. Everybody always likes to talk about roster. I know it's a big thing for me. We obviously know Kurt Angle was in, and that's a good thing. He is the pre-order bonus. So if you pre-order, you get Kurt Angle, and you get him in two different personas, the ECW Wrestling Machine and then the WWE Olympic Hero. once again, we've been promised the largest roster in WWE 2K history. Now, I pressed Little to give me a number, and I can confirm he told me between 170 and 200 superstars. That's a lot of wrestlers, right? So that's huge. And with the already strong creative superstar and then the diehard community creators who are always creating superstars, I can't imagine how fans are going to be longing for any performer from the past or present that they just have no access to. So I think it's going to be fine in that regard. Let's talk about Universe Mode. Now, Universe Mode is another lightning rod for community conversation. Many of the questions that I took from Twitter followers were associated with that feature. Universe Mode is returning, so that means that GM Mode is not coming. But that's not necessarily a bad thing in my opinion. There's no reason that Universe Mode can't be fleshed out and function the same way that GM Mode used to back in the previous WWE games. Little told us that this year's Universe Mode will feature an expanded story system with rewritten logic to several different types of wrestling universes. There will be organic stories that can be initiated by user actions as opposed to those canned situations that take the booking control right out of the gamer's hands. Universe Mode will recognize the brand split by default, but it appears that there's a way to override that, as has been the case in previous versions of the mode. There will be no annual draft to redistribute the superstars of the different brands, but this should be possible if you want to manually reshuffle the roster at year's end. We kind of asked them about that, and they were like, well, we never know what the WWE is going to do in order to change things in regards to, changing up the way things go, the flow of how the storylines are going. So they would prefer not to be kind of chained to something like that, because the WWE could do away with that whole thing in the future. I also heard rumors, and this is totally separate from 2K, that the WWE could be even abandoning the brand split sometime in the future. So it was totally a rumor, but we'll see. Last but not least, let's talk gameplay. Gameplay has also seen some noteworthy attention. There's a new carry and drag system that can be initiated dynamically, so the reversal of certain moves can trigger an opportunity for one superstar to carry an opponent around the ring or arena. So picture a Hurricane Rana being reversed into a powerbomb, but the reversing superstar carries his victim around before he drops him. The carry system obviously has to have a time limit before the superstar who is actually being carried can break out of the predicament, but that can cause for some really cool little sequences, so I'm excited to see how that works. There's also a new position feeding system that's going to be introduced. Certain moves will leave the recipient in an ideal position for a follow-up move. So conceptually, it's almost like a combo in a fighting game, only I don't think it's going to be materializing quite as quickly. Now, as I mentioned before, the number of backstage areas has been expanded. So a loading dock and garage were mentioned specifically. But for the first time ever in any WWE 2K game, you'll be able to fight in the backstage brawls online. I love that. It's kind of like how I wanted KO mode to be online in EA Sports UFC. This is an alternative way to fight, and it should be online. It's quick, cool matches, and I think it's cool that it's coming online. One of the last things to mention is the expanded match types. WWE 2K18 will support 8-man and 8-woman matches. That's been one of the most requested features, and it's coming to this year's game. So that means that 8-man tags, ladder matches, battle royals, and more, you'll be able to have those. There's also the new elimination chamber that was introduced earlier in the year, so that's going to be playable. Also, the Royal Rumble has been revamped, so there's new AI for the CPU controlled superstars, and there are new animations for the match. So on paper, this looks to be a ton of new content and ideas on the way from WWE 2K18. So stay tuned to hear more details as they become available. I'll pass them on to you. But WWE 2K18 comes out on October 17th for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One only. There will not be a 360 or PS3 version. I know a lot of people that are still holding on to those old systems. Hate to hear that, but the devs were pleased as punch to get rid of that, because essentially they were doing double work and they did not dig it. So they were happy to be able to devote all their time to this, to the PS4 and Xbox One versions. Now, a PC and Nintendo Switch versions are possibilities, but 2K would not confirm either of those at the time of publication. So that is all I have for you, and I do realize that was a lot. I appreciate you listening as always, and leave in the comments what you think. What are you excited about? What don't you like? And also, if you feel the need and you be inspired or so moved to do that, don't hesitate to hit that donate button or follow that link to donate in the description as well. As I said, I appreciate you watching and listening. God bless. Peace.